In this video lesson, we're going to continue our MIDI drum programming using EZDrummer, and we're going to begin building out the track, dragging and dropping MIDI patterns from EZDrummer's browser into the stereo instrument track. Before we start, I just want to stress, and really stress, that it's important you work in grid mode when you are dragging and dropping patterns. Really important there. You definitely do not want to work in slip mode. Please work only in grid mode. Also over here for your grid value when dragging and dropping patterns, select your largest grid value to start with until you start working with the other tools or you're really sure you know what you're doing. You don't want to accidentally have patterns overlapping each other, okay? So set it to 1 bar until you really kind of start getting into this and really getting a feel for it, okay? Let's go ahead here and listen to our track and see what we've got. Drop our cursor right there.
The way it feels when nobody will reply.
So an up-tempo track, mix minus drums.
Do you like the way it feels whenever you ignore me?
All right, let's jump right in and get started. So I'm headed to the browser, and I'm going to go to the EZDrummer Modern Drum Library. Going to go to up-tempo, and just to get to it quickly so I can get you guys working and get your creativity started, I'm going to go right here to where it says Intro and just click on Variation 1 to Audition. And let's just say I like that one. So click to stop, and I'm just going to drag it right in here at the beginning of the track. Let's check that out.
Do you like the way it feels when nobody will reply to your questions?
Okay, let's go ahead and find something with a little bit more in it, and we'll keep building from there. So I'm going to go over here to where it says verse, see what else we've got. Okay, let's just say that'll work. And so I'm going to drag that in right next to it. Okay, working in grid mode, it's so easy to drag and drop. Let's see what we've got there.
You like the way it feels whenever you ignore me. It makes me wild, it makes me crazy.
Okay, and that'll give me a chance to go ahead and find something with a little bit more in it. There we go, it's getting a little bit busier, so we'll just go there. And let's drag that one in. There we go there.
I don't like the things you do.
Okay, so let's get up to take it up to the chorus. We'll go through there, and let's just go to where? Well, let's go to the chorus. Okay, kind of going to a ride cymbal. Ride cymbal using the bell of the cymbal. I like that. So let's just go ahead and drag that one in right there. Okay, so that'll give us some opportunities to not only see how we can build a track really quickly, but let's go ahead and do a little bit of editing on top of that. Okay, so let me temporarily scoot EZDrummer out of the way here, and we'll do a couple of edits. All right, so first let's go over here where there's this break. All right, so I'm going to command right bracket to zoom out, and I'd like the drums to break along with the track. A couple of ways I can do that. I'm going to have to go down to a smaller grid value, so I'll go down to 8th note. I can drop my cursor right there, Command E to separate the clip, Command E to separate the clip, click on that, and delete it. That's one option. Now you can see there's a couple of notes hanging over there even though I deleted that, and we will fix that. Command Z to undo that. I can also go to my trimmer tool and trim back there. Command right bracket again to zoom in on that, but I still have those notes hanging over. Let me undo that, and this time I'll go down to 16th note and see if that resolves it. And sure enough, that got rid of those extra notes, okay? So let's go ahead and check that out. All right, so.
To your questions.
Okay, so I really want it to end there, huh? Okay, so I can just go ahead and now drag across that highlight and delete. All right, so that'll work there. So a couple ways you can work with your trimmer tool, deleting, separating clips, a lot of options there. Let's get into the next section. Let's say that I don't want that cymbal crash at the beginning. Let's go from clips here to notes view. Let's scroll into view. And I know that cymbal's right at the beginning of that measure. Go to my grabber tool here. Ah, there it is. Okay. If I didn't find it, I'd have to go ahead down here and click around on a few more notes. Let's see what we've got. There's the kick drum. Okay. No, it's not there. So I can just kind of scroll up or down until I find the note that I want. But I know it's that crash cymbal. And I know that C#2, that note right there, that always is going to be a crash cymbal. So that's another giveaway right there. And hit my delete key and delete that. So now I've got that note deleted. All right. Let's go back to clips view here. And I'm going to command left bracket to zoom out. And let's keep playing.
Whenever you ignore me, it makes me wild, it makes me crazy. I don't like the things you do, don't like what you become, don't like what you do to me. You're already gone.
All right, so right here, let's say that we'd like a little bit busier fill. We don't really love that fill right there.
You're already gone.
So here, let's go to EZDrummer. Let's go to fills. And we've got a number of one-bar fills right here. So let's go to number 8. Typically, they get busier as we go down the list. That's a 2-bar fill. Let's stay with a 1-bar fill. Let's just drag that. And what we can do is we can just drag it right on top. So I'm going to go ahead back to 1-bar here and drag and drop it right there. So that's as easy as it gets. Wow, yeah. Okay, so dragging and dropping, trimming clips, changing from clips to notes view. Let's just do a few more edit things here while we're working with EZDrummer. And I'm going to scoot this out of the way. I'm going to go here to my intro. Command right bracket to zoom that out a little. Clips, and let's just do a few simple note edits. So I'm going to go to notes view right here. I can use my MIDI zoom tool. There we go. Let's click down and let's do some things with our there's our kick drums. Let's see what we've got.
You like the way it feels.
Okay, let's say I'd like to experiment with this pattern. I like it, but maybe I want to experiment with how busy the kick drum is. So I'm going to go down to 8th note grid. Now you can see that there. Now I've got a grid line for each one of those notes, which makes it easier to edit. And here I can mute notes, so I can select one note or drag and close a number of notes and mute those. So Command M mutes those notes.
You like the way it feels.
Okay, so that really kind of changes the activity of the track there at the beginning. If I want to make it busier, I can go the other way. So I'll Command Z to undo that mute. And I can duplicate notes or drag duplicate. So here, I'll just click on that note. So it's highlighted. Hold down my Option key and drag to duplicate it. And drag one more time right there. Let's check that out.
You like the way it feels.
Okay, so now it's getting busier. Let's say I want to get some snare drums in there. A couple of ways I can do that. I can go to my grabber tool and again drag duplicate and just right there. So I have snares on right there. And my snares on right there. So just listen to that.
You like the way it feels.
Maybe not the best place for them musically, but it shows you how you can do it. The other way we can put notes in is using our pencil tool. So pencil, and before I put in my pencil tool, I'm going to look over here where it says, right here it says the number 80, and that tells me the velocity level with which I will be penciling in notes. And the velocity range is 127. That means when you pencil something, it'll be as loud as possible for each note, to 1, the softest. So I'm just going to put it to 127 for the loudest. And I'll go ahead, still working in grid mode with eighths here, and now I'll pencil in some, let me command right bracket here, and I'll put in some snares on 2 and 4. And right there, and right there. Let's check that pattern. So if I just want to say, oh, you know, I like the snares better than the kicks, I'll just drag and close the kicks, command mute those, and see how that works. All right. So between drag duplicating, the pencil tool, and muting notes, you can get a lot of mileage just with those 3 simple editing techniques when building and working with MIDI drum patterns. All right, we'll come back in the next video and continue on with EZDrummer and head over to the mixer and see how that works with EZDrummer.